Hello everyone, bringing you a video today talking about this, and obviously I haven't done a recommended reading video for a while. This won't be a long one, so I'm going to do this as an extra. This was inspired by posts from members of the curatorial staff of the Imperial War Museum on Twitter, where they've been posting 60-second videos of items from the collection which they find interesting and talking about them. One of them was talking about one of Linda Kitson's drawings. Now, Linda Kitson was a war artist commissioned by the Imperial War Museum to go out to the Falklands to basically to record the conflict in sketch form. Obviously, there are a large number of photographers, press photographers, and so forth, as well as military photographers. And the fact that war artists were sent out is rather interesting. Now, this book basically collects together her sketches, and we'll take a look at some of the contents in just a minute. But I could highly recommend this. These can be bought secondhand for a matter of a few pounds, the price of a magazine in some instances, from eBay and various other sources. I think Amazon have them as well. And it's a really excellent, slightly different look at the conflict. And as I say, we'll have a look at the contents of this now and talk a little bit more about it. So, The Falklands War, a visual diary, obviously Linda Kitson, the official war artist, and then published by Mitchell Beasley in association with the Imperial War Museum. And this starts appropriately enough after we have, obviously there's some introductory text. We start on board ship, the journey south, the voyage south, and fairly, there's a good section at the start here, aboard helicopter, on board ship. Obviously the amount of detail that's been captured, considering these are rough sketches, that have been obviously drawn to capture as much of a scene as possible, a scene that's in flux and in motion. It's very impressive the amount of detail that's been included in these. We move forward, still on board ship here, a little bit further. We get to the landings at San Carlos. Here we go, Blue Beach 2 San Carlos, and then if we move through, we've got men in positions. So one page in particular I'll find in a minute and talk about in a little bit more detail, but just have a quick flick through here, give you an idea of what you'll see in this in terms of sketches. And then if we move to the back here, there's some sort of sketches of the aftermath. I think have been recaptured. Yeah, quite interesting. I'll just flick through now and find the page that I wanted to show in particular. This is one of my particular favourite pages from the book, because not only obviously we have the same chap sketched from different aspects showing how his web equipment is set up and so forth. Linda's also gone and labelled the various contents of the pouches and so forth. Very useful from that point of view, in that we know in each pouch it's been labelled what was carried, and the same goes for the pockets as well, which makes it an excellent reference. So, as I say, you don't often get details like that, and it's certainly not something you get from photographs. So, as I say, not only interesting from an artistic point of view and from an illustrative point of view, but also from quite a useful historical reference as well in that regard. So there we are. As I say, The Falklands War, a visual diary, Linda Kitson's sketches made during the conflict. And it's an absolutely fascinating book to look at, look through, and quite a good reference as well. And it's interesting, as I say, to see it from a different point of view. There are tons of photographs out there, but to see the scenes sketched and so forth, and obviously, as mentioned previously, the labelling of some of them are an excellent reference for those who want to get into the nitty-gritty of small kit and so forth, and what was carried where by certain individuals, certainly. And as I say, I can highly recommend this. It's very easy and cheap to find, and obviously in lockdown you can still get these shipped to you, so it might be a nice addition to your reading material and something to while away some of the time. But as I say, I can't recommend this highly enough. From my point of view, obviously it might not be to everyone's tastes in terms of looking at the artwork as opposed to photographs as a reference, but I've certainly found it fascinating, and it was recommended to me by my friend David, who had a copy. I remember looking through his and thinking, wow, I need to get a copy of this, so I have it as my own reference material. And also just from the point of view of it's very interesting to look through, and from an artistic point of view it's interesting as well, as I said before. So these can be picked up very cheaply, and they are readily available second hand. So as I say, I definitely recommend them. A very interesting book to have as a reference piece. If you have enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more of this sort of thing, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're newly subscribing or you've already subscribed, please do make sure you hit the little bell, little notification button down below, which will alert you, of course, to when I upload future videos. There's also Patreon and a PayPal link down below. If you really like my uploads and you'd like to support the channel, you can do using those two methods. It's greatly appreciated, everyone who does. So thank you very much again for that, guys. It really is massively appreciated. There's also social media for the channel. There's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all linked down below. And should you wish to contact me but you don't really use social media, there is an email address as well, of course, all in the description down below. But that's everything for this video. So until next time, bye for now.